Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a comedy drama film, An American Pickle. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The smelly mustache Herschel is a ditch digger who lives a hard life in a shtetl, small Jewish community in Eastern Europe. One day, he meets a girl Sarah and falls in love with her at first sight. So he works hard every day and finally uses the money he saves to buy a salted fish for Sarah. Sarah is moved by him and his smelly fish, so the two begin to date each other. They soon find that they were perfectly made for each other, so they decide to get married after a very short time. However, on the day of their wedding ceremony, Russian Cossacks rampage through the town, so they are forced to leave the town and emigrate to the US to make a living. Sometime later, Smelly Mustache finds a job catching rats at a pickle factory. He works very hard and finally saves up enough money to purchase a family plot to achieve Sarah's dream, in case they die young someday. Soon, Sarah gets pregnant, and they are looking forward to the arrival of the family's new member. However, one never knows what will happen next. One day, when Smelly Mustache is catching rats on the beam, he accidentally falls down into a vat of pickles. The busy workers directly put the lid on the vat without getting him out. And worse still, the factory is permanently closed for health reasons, leaving Smelly Mustache brined for 100 years. 100 years later, in 2019, the pickle factory has become a deserted building. One day, two children flying a drone stray into the factory. The drone coincidentally knocks the lid off, and Smelly Mustache wakes up in the vat. Much to everyone's surprise, having been brined for 100 years, Smelly Mustache looks exactly the same as he was 100 years ago. Moreover, his body is also performing normally. Thanks to the scientists' explanations, the public gradually takes the abnormal incident for granted. However, Smelly Mustache himself finds it difficult to accept the truth. His wife passed away a long time ago, and he doesn't even have a chance to say goodbye to his dead son. He gets very emotional and punches the doctor in the face. Luckily, with the public's efforts, they help find his great-grandson, Sparse Beard, which makes him very happy. After their meeting, Sparse Beard takes his great-grandpa home, who however, is of the same age as his great-grandson. They look exactly the same, though with different personalities and outfits. Sparse Beard is a freelance app developer and lives alone in an apartment in Brooklyn. When Sparse Beard asks his great-grandpa if he would like some seltzer made from the seltzer machine, Smelly Mustache becomes very excited, thinking it is so amazing. 100 years ago, the 5-cent seltzer was a luxury for Smelly Mustache, as he had to save every single coin to buy the grapes. It's the first time in his life for Smelly Mustache to try the amazing liquid that he has always wanted to. Later, Sparse Beard takes Smelly Mustache for a tour of the modern city. Smelly Mustache seems to enjoy the colorful life much, as well as the food in Brooklyn. After getting back home, Smelly Mustache asks about what Sparse Beard is doing for a living. Sparse Beard tells him that he is an app developer and introduces his newly developed app BookBop that he has been working on for 5 years. However, Smelly Mustache is quite confused about what Sparse Beard is talking about, as he has never seen any electronic devices before, let alone the apps. Seeing Smelly Mustache miss his family so much, Sparse Beard takes out a family album, which collects all the photos of the Greenbaum family. Smelly Mustache then learns that his son became a foreman of a brick factory, and that his grandson grew up to be an accountant. Their success makes Smelly Mustache feel satisfied and relieved. Then after Sparse Beard tells Smelly Mustache that his parents died during a car crash, Smelly Mustache insists that Sparse Beard should take him to the family plot to pay them a visit. The next day, when they arrive at the cemetery, Smelly Mustache finds that it is in shambles, and there is even a huge billboard overhead, blocking out the sunlight. Just when Smelly Mustache is praying for the dead, a construction team suddenly show up and replace the billboard with a new Russian vodka one. That immediately reminds Smelly Mustache of the cruel Russian Cossacks, who destroyed his hometown. He gets so angry that he starts to beat the workers. Sparse Beard wants to stop it, but unfortunately gets beaten up. At last, both Smelly Mustache and Sparse Beard are put into jail. As a result, Sparse Beard has to spend a large amount of money to bail them both out. After getting back to Sparse Beard's apartment, Smelly Mustache tells him that he wants to buy the billboard, so that he can tear it into pieces. However, Sparse Beard tells him it will cost $200,000. And he doesn't have that much money left after paying the bail. Smelly Mustache then starts to satirize Sparse Beard for having no courage to sell his app. Under his provocation, Sparse Beard screws up his courage to show his app to an investor. However, The investor tells Sparse Beard that his new criminal record of assault makes him unable to get any investment, as the whole app is about ethics. Sparse Beard gets back home, very upset. Instead of showing any guilt, Smelly Mustache tells him that his app is a stupid idea. He then asks Sparse Beard to start a pickle business with him, and claims that Sparse Beard's parents will be proud of him for doing that. Sparse Beard gets really mad at Smelly Mustache for showing no respect for his hard work. So he rejects Smelly Mustache's smelly shit without a second thought. Hearing that, Smelly Mustache makes a vow that he will succeed in her pickle business and will soon buy and take down that billboard. However, Smelly Mustache soon finds him not able to afford any ingredients for making pickles. Later, when he is wandering on the street, he suddenly sees the supermarket's leftover vegetables, so he begins to collect the tools and ingredients for making pickles from different places, and then by using rainwater, he successfully makes his first batch of pickles. Smelly Mustache begins to sell the pickles on the street, which soon attracts two young men's attention. They show great interest in his natural way of making pickles. After buying some, they also shoot a video about his pickles and post it on the internet. Soon, Smelly Mustache's pickles become popular among vegetarians and environmentalists, and Smelly Mustache himself becomes well known. While at the same time, Sparse Beard is in quite low spirits at home, so he decides to go out for a walk. He finds that everyone around him is talking about his great-grandfather and his pickles. Then, he hears the insulting remarks Smelly Mustache makes towards him in the interview video, which infuriates Sparse Beard much. Therefore, Sparse Beard reports his great-grandpa's illegal pickle business to the health inspector. Soon, Smelly Mustache's pickle business is forced to shut down, and all his pickles are taken away. Worse still, he is fined $12,000, which leaves him no money again. Smelly Mustache sits on the roadside, very upset. Then the two young influencers find him and provide him a new idea. They suggest that he can hire some unpaid interns to make and sell the pickles. Also, they have to make sure the whole producing process meets the sanitary requirements. Smelly Mustache takes their suggestion and soon hires a bunch of college students to work for him for free. With so many people's efforts, Smelly Mustache's business becomes even more popular. At last, he not only pays the fine, but also buys the billboard and takes it down. The next day, Smelly Mustache comes back to his great-grandson triumphantly, with the peeled-off billboard. He is quite self-satisfied with his success, and thus shows obvious contempt towards his great-grandson. Altogether with his biting remarks, Sparse Beard gets so mad at Smelly Mustache that an idea crosses his mind. He encourages Smelly Mustache to register a Twitter account. It turns out that he knows that Smelly Mustache is a conservative and outspoken person, so he believes Smelly Mustache will definitely become the target of those keyboard warriors. After signing up, Smelly Mustache at once asks one of the interns to post some discrimination remarks towards different groups. As anticipated, his tweets draw protests and boycotts. Smelly Mustache, however, insists that he has said nothing wrong and sticks to his previous remarks. But later, to everyone's surprise, there begins to grow a bunch of his supporters, viewing him as a defender of free speech. Smelly Mustache's name becomes household, and a TV program even gives him a personal interview. During the interview, Smelly Mustache is invited to have a public debate with a feminist. His sarcastic remarks ironically win the audience's applause and support, and he is even encouraged by them to run for president. However, just then, the great-grandson Sparse Beard, disguised as one of the audience, questions his thoughts about Christianity. As Smelly Mustache never admits the existence of Jesus, his rants about Christianity immediately piss off all the Christians, and the government even declares to deport his ass out of the USA. Smelly Mustache has nowhere to go, so he comes back to Sparse Beard's apartment, hoping his great-grandson can help him to get to the Canadian border. Though reluctantly, Sparse Beard agrees to drive Smelly Mustache to the border. He then accompanies Smelly Mustache to cross the border and walk to Canada. On their way, Sparse Beard starts to feel the love and care from Smelly Mustache. Therefore, he decides to admit to Smelly Mustache all the bad things he has done. Knowing the truth, Smelly Mustache gets so angry that he knocks Sparse Beard out. Just then, two patrolmen see Smelly Mustache and come to catch him. In order to get rid of them, Smelly Mustache finds a shaver from Sparse Beard's backpack. He then shaves his smelly mustache to a Sparse Beard, and puts on Sparse Beard's clothes to pose as him. Looking very much alike, Smelly Mustache eventually gets rid of the patrolman, while Sparse Beard is soon mistaken as Smelly Mustache and gets arrested. Later, Smelly Mustache returns to his great-grandson's apartment. When he is thumbing through the family album, he finds that the app's name Boop Bop is actually the nickname of Sparse Beard's parents. By now, Smelly Mustache realizes that family has always been in Sparse Beard's heart. Meanwhile, Sparse Beard is deported to the small town where Smelly Mustache used to live. He has nowhere to go but wanders into a nearby church. There, he encounters an old man who can speak some simple English. The old man invites him to join a local synagogue. Sparse Beard is greatly touched by it, and finally speaks out his love and miss for his parents. To his great surprise, Sparse Beard finds Smelly Mustache also comes to the synagogue. It turns out that after seeing Sparse Beard's drawing, Smelly Mustache realizes that he has misunderstood his great-grandson. So he apologizes to the great-grandson, and gives high praise to his app. The two eventually reconcile. They then return to the cemetery in Brooklyn, and pay their family another visit. After that, Sparse Beard decides to make use of his skills on the internet, to help his great-grandfather sell his pickles to the whole world. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Peace out.